Hey, how are you all? Good to see you. We're back again for the late show. Did you have fun with Trish? I logged into my live stream and I had a photo of female reproductive system. So I don't know how that happened, but someone put up a diagram of I don't know, lady parts, internal lady parts. I'm not sure why. I'm sure it was the show Trish was doing or something. But that was a bit of a shock. I was like, whoa, where'd that come from? All right. All right. Yes, we have more stuff to talk about. So, do you guys want to see something weird from Australia first? I want to show you something. Here, show you this. So, the cost of living in Australia is getting so bad that they have started putting, uh, anti-theft devices on packets of meat. So, as you can see, they're putting like these buzzers that if you go through without paying and don't get it removed at the register, it'll say that you pinched it. So this is happening. You can see security protected meat, and they got cameras at our self-service and stuff. Very futuristic, apparently. I've never seen these ones. I've seen this one, this type that's in the plastic, but I've not seen these big ones that clip onto the corner. But I'm sure it's like that around the world right now. Hey, Shock, how are you? Yeah, it's brutal right now. Brutal. Hey, Jojo. Jojo says, I've seen that tag here as well. Oh, they have it over there. You'll have to let me know if you have seen this in your area around the world. That would be a good thing to know. That would be good to know. All right. All right. Let's go back. So some information just surfaced just during the 1 hour break that we had. I'm going to find it. What is it called? All right, hold on. So some more information about that elderly couple who died in their home. I'm going to show you. So it says Antigone Court Warrandyte Melbourne incident. Tragic details emerge of freak incident that killed man and woman on Millionaire Row. Detectives are not treating the death as suspicious. Couple death described as misadventure. One was living with Alzheimer's disease. And it says an elderly couple who died together outside their home may have been overcome by Melbourne's blistering heat wave. Yes, during the time that they had died, there was like 100-degree heat wave in Melbourne for like several days. Um, so it had been, even overnight, it had been like in the 90s overnight, like at 1 a.m. in the morning. It says it remains unknown why the beloved couple decided to leave their home, which is located in a wealthy Melbourne neighborhood. And they said Melbourne had been within the grips of a shocking heat wave, which saw temperatures climb to 36 degrees on Monday as the couple remained undiscovered outside their property. A detective at the scene told the Daily Mail Australia the couple's death had been nothing more than a tragic accident. So they're saying that it's possible that they died from exposure to the heat. And yeah, it could be. It could be. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know. Maybe they were gardening outside and the heat ended up killing them. I don't know. Yeah, so that's what came up in the last hour apparently. There's a photo of one of the people, one of the man who died, and there's a photo of his wife somewhere too. Do they have it on this page? No, they don't. That's okay. Yeah, so they could have died due to the heat wave. How horrible that no one saw them either. So if they died on Monday, they were out there for at least 24 hours and no one realized. That's a long period of time to be out in the heat. That's really sad. It's sad that their neighbors didn't see them or, you know, something like that. Gambler, yeah, I jumped on. The timing just fit, so the timing was good. So I decided to just start the stream. Um, yeah, very sad. It's awful that someone in Melbourne, a Western, you know, fairly well-to-do city, these people died just in their front yard and no one even knew. I mean, their yard is not. I mean, it's large. It's a large front yard. I mean, I guess if someone had lied down behind all these shrubs, maybe you wouldn't see them. But I don't know. We're gonna have to wait for more information and see why it happened or how it happened. Yeah. Shocked residents described the pair, both in their 80s, as friendly people who kept to themselves but would wave to neighbors when passing by in the street. It is believed that his wife had struggled with Alzheimer's disease and was cared for by both her husband and her children. S Oi, you two. My cats are deciding to play chase each other everywhere. They're in here, they run out, they're in the other room, they come back. They decided to have an after lunch run around. No, it doesn't say that they fell, although one of the other articles said something like that. The Sun said they fell and that they died on the Sunday, not the Monday. I think there's a lot of, just misinformation even between the family. Maybe they're not quite 100% sure either, because the Sun was in the paper the other day saying, "Oh, no, they died on Sunday and it's nothing, they just fell." How do you just fall? How do 2 people just fall? Unless they said the wife had Alzheimer's disease, maybe she had a fall and he tried to help her, and due to the heat, they both succumbed to, like, a heart attack or something like that, or a stroke. That's the only thing I can think of. Because I know when my grandfather died, he often would fall and we'd have to get him up somehow, and sometimes we'd have to call an ambulance 'cause we just couldn't lift him. He was so heavy as dead weight, like a human that doesn't help, doesn't give you any muscle. It's really hard to lift him. So I don't know if maybe that's what happened. I don't know. I will let you know if there is more information that comes out about it. But right now, a bit of a strange story in Melbourne, how this couple died. Very, very sad. Um, so I did go through that Madeline Soto document, and I had a read through it, and I gotta say, I can't believe if they do end up proving that she's the child outlined in the document, which I gotta guess she is. I mean, I can't imagine the life she led leading up to her murder. The charges are just massive, and they date back to this is only when he started photographing it. So who knows when, it actually began or how often it was. This was only the time that he actually pulled out a camera and, you know, recorded his abuse. So the first one says it looks like the earliest one is the 19th of June 2019. So at least 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, she had been starting to be abused. And it says a person less than 12 years of age. And the things detailed here, which I won't read out on air, are, something a child should never have to go through. I mean, this is, well, brazen by him. It concerns me because some people were saying that what if she was pregnant and that's why he killed her? And if you look at the offending on these charges, now I'll give you a very brief description of how it works. It started off with non non uh, non-traditional sex act, and then it progressed to full on, you know, male to female sex later on when she was older. But the beginning one, by judging by these charges, it started off as, a completely different sex act where she couldn't get pregnant, if that makes sense. Um, but it looks like his offending increased. And where does it say here? Well, it says here on the at least a month later, it says one of the charges says that there was some sort of contact, but they're not sure if it was actual sex. And then it says later on down here, 2022. So a couple of years later, or a few years later, a couple of years later, it looks like it was there that the more um, full on abuse and regularity started, if that makes sense. So if the people who suggest that she could have been pregnant, she could have been. I mean, I'm not saying that's the case, and it may have been already ruled out in the autopsy, but geez, what an absolute awful human being this guy is to put a young girl through this and then record it. I mean, she lived a very, very, tormented last few years of her life, all because of this adult male that got brought into her home. She may not have known, like, her mum brings this guy home and then she's like, oh, yay, a father figure in my life, like a male that I can trust and someone to protect me. And he did everything but that. He did everything, the opposite of what you're supposed to do. And I, I'm surprised people are not going to show up to his court hearing with literal pitchforks and freaking fire. I would not be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a huge crowd out there. I mean, really horrible stuff. So, yeah. Lux says, no wonder Madeline wanted to live in the woods, poor kid. When I first heard that, I was like, there's something else there. Why would a kid not want to live in the safety of her own home where it's warm? She gets fed every night. There's ice cream. She has her own room. Things like that. Mum's not really home that much, so she gets to do whatever she wants in the evening. And now you know why. Because there was a predator living in her own home. Ah, it's really heartbreaking to read it. It really is. The stuff he did to her was disgusting, and then it doesn't really detail much else. It details more about the images, these images that he had, not of her. Or like I think these must be images of other children, not her. I think they must be, ones he found online or something like that, from like CSAM sites or whatever. But he had hundreds of them. There's what is it, 50, 60, 51, 53, 54. Trying to see what the end one is here. 60 counts, and there's 20 for the abuse charges. So there's 40 alone of having child CSAM material. Each one of those is for 10 images or videos or more. So I'm talking 400 plus at least, could be more, could be the maximum definition they have. So it could be he had thousands, and that's the max amount of charges they could do for it. So this guy was a warped individual, and Madeline being killed is what brought all his, you know, his entire thing out into the open and showed the entire world, like, the evil predator of children that he is, creeping around a mother and her child. I wouldn't be surprised if he only dated the mum to get to the child. They do that. They do things like that. They only date the older woman to get to the little kid. If I was the police, I'd be asking the mom about their sex life. Like, did you have sex? How often? You know, around these dates of the offending, did he have sex with you? That type of thing. Because I would be very interested to hear whether they had any sex life at all, whether he was only interested in children. And she was like, "Great, I don't have to have sex with him, and he does everything else." And she thought it was la di da and the greatest, the greatest thing ever. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, pitchforks and torches. Let's do that. Shock says, "Is she the one who didn't take her phone that day?" Supposedly, yeah. Yeah, you might be right. Maybe there's something. I think did they end up finding her phone in the trash or something? I can't remember. Madeline Soto. Let me see if I can find something about her cell phone. Cell phone. Hmm. I see stuff about his cell phone. I can't find anything off the top of my head, but I might be able to find something later. But maybe she was recording him too. She could have been trying to expose what was going on at home. I mean, she got to an age where she'd want to have her own, boyfriends and things like that, and not an old man. So yeah, I think there's more there, and we'll find out eventually. This investigation is moving as slow as it needs to be. Laura says that could explain a little into the mum's behavior. It could. It could. Let me see. Yeah, I'll have to look more into that phone allegation. I know they said that she didn't take it, but I haven't read if they found it. You would think that if they could find it, they would want to um forensically examine her phone as well and see if anything matches up to help solidify their case, even though they have photos and things like that. Um, it would just help their evidence. Yeah, I can't really find anything about that. But yeah, it's like when I read this document, it's almost like we read that first document for Stefan Stearns, and you're like, oh my god. And then you read this one, and you're like, it's like a tsunami of the worst imaginable details about what a child could go through with a predator. And I'm sure there's even worse than this in the world, but you think in somewhere like Florida, where it's supposed to be, great place to live, warm weather, lots of schools and people, and, you know, they like to be very community minded and stuff. And then you get this kind of thing lurking in the background. It's horrible. I'm hoping we'll see more charges because I have to wonder if there was anything in like what is it, 5 years or 4 years or whatever it ends up being, the mom didn't notice anything in that time frame that her daughter was different, that her daughter didn't want, you know, didn't like being around like Stefan or didn't like being alone. Like mom worked at night or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, I don't want to be at home, with him," or stuff like that. "Oh, I don't want to go on this family outing because he's going to be there. Mom, can't we just go alone?" Just that, or becoming withdrawn from family, uh, locking herself in her room, sleeping over at friends' houses more often, to get away from the home. I wonder if there was anything like that because I can't imagine she was just like, "Sure, I love this." I just don't think that's what you know. I hate morning says the mom said Maddie's cell phone was in her room, but mum was involved. There's something there. When she did that interview, some of her language doesn't make sense to the situation. Like she says, we, us, them, often speaks in past tense, then present tense, then inclusive language, like I just mentioned, we, us, them, we did, they did, uh, just weird stuff like that. I think they haven't said anything yet, but we'll see if they do any deeper investigations into that. Because I'm sure there's probably a lot of child psychologists or child advocates who really want to get deeper into that, like that part of it. They really want to delve deeper. I'm sure a lot of true crime people do as well. Because it's a long abuse period. It's a long time for a little girl just to put up with it and be like, sure, that's fine. Which I don't think that she ever said that once. So I find it weird that no one mentioned anything. Although I think we mentioned it earlier that someone mentioned online that it was possible that she mentioned to a friend that she was being abused at home, and for some reason or another, it was never acted upon or wasn't mentioned to an adult or something. I don't know. I couldn't verify it, and I got to just take it as hearsay. All right. Let's move off that incredibly, incredibly sad story. And when we get more, I'll let you know about it. But let's go to this one. I want to do the one that Marlene sent in. I got to make sure it was Marlene. Hold on. Yeah, it was Marlene. Of course it was. Who else would it be? Where is it? So apparently, a man and a woman found dead at severe explosion in Pennsylvania. What's with Pennsylvania and exploding homes? Seems to happen a lot. Oh my god, I hadn't even seen this before I opened it. Where is the house? It looks like a tornado has gone through. It literally looks like an EF5 tornado has come through but decided to leave all the trees alone. It says here, a man and woman found dead at a scene of severe house explosion in Pennsylvania. The cause of the explosion remains under investigation. An official said there was natural gas on site from a private well and propane from a private well. Well, I wonder how it happened then. Obviously, the fairies came and decided this house needed to go away. It says here, a man and a woman were found dead at the scene of a severe house explosion in Pennsylvania on Tuesday morning that damaged 2 other homes. Officials in Allegheny County received multiple calls at 8:54 a.m. about a house explosion on Riverview Road in Crescent Township, just outside of Pittsburgh. The first unit arrived a few minutes after the call to find the home completely leveled by some type of explosion. He said there was fire throughout the foundation and a fire alongside a nearby hill. As authorities searched for occupants, they found the bodies of the man and woman. The medical examiner will release their identities. No other injuries were reported. A fire in the foundation and on a nearby hill. Sounds like a gas line. Because what goes below your foundation or at the same level? A gas line would. A gas line would run underneath or through or adjacent. That's interesting. Hold on. There is a video of this. I'll show you from WPXI, NBC News.
Tonight, officials in western Pennsylvania are investigating what caused a massive explosion that killed a man and woman and obliterated this home. The shell of a basement is all that remains.
I'm on the scene. I got a house on the ground, completely on the ground.
It happened just before 9 a.m. The blast, caught on surveillance video, sending debris soaring above the tree line and damaging several nearby homes. Witnesses felt its force across the river and miles away.
It sounded like a bomb went off.
Everything was just in a rubble.
The fire department sits just down the hill from the explosion site.
We all felt and heard the explosion. Instantly, we did a quick search trying to find the occupants. Unfortunately, we were able to find 2 deceased occupants.
the son of the victims identifying the couple to NBC News as David and Helen Mitchell. The deadly incident comes exactly 7 months since another Allegheny County house explosion that killed 6 people. While no cause has been pinpointed in the latest tragedy, officials say there was a private gas well and propane tanks at the home. The Department of Environmental Protection, ATF, and Fire Marshal now investigating the devastating explosion that's left this community shaken. Emily Ikeda, NBC News.
Look at that. Is that just the basement that's left? That's crazy. The sub foundation's gone. There's nothing left. What did you say? Show the video. It's amazing. Is it on Twitter or something? Hold on. Because when I Googled it, there was nothing. Let me see if I can find it on Twitter for everyone. If it's anything like the one that happened a few months ago, it's probably pretty crazy. Let's see if there's anything online. There is a drone video. It doesn't show the explosion though. It just shows the aftermath of it. I don't think there is one that shows the actual boom. Although they did say there was a Ring doorbell camera of it. Oh wow, there is sort of like an aftermath video. Oh wow. Hold on, I'm going to show you this. Look at this. These are the people that came to the scene to help out. Where would you even start? You'd be like, what happened? What happened here? How do I even go about helping? Oh, wow. That basement. You just see the force of everything. Those people had no chance. None. I wonder if this is why they're trying to phase out propane. They're trying to do it down here too. They're trying to phase out any gas or propane externalized sources for heating, cooling, cooking. They're trying to get rid of it. Let me see if I can find anything else. Let's see. No, I can't find anything else that shows an explosion. Yeah, a gas leak easily could do it. Probably, I reckon if they had a propane tank, that could have done it too. They were nice houses, 2-story, newer build. Yeah, Gambler, that would be interesting about Madeline to find out when that started occurring. Yeah, it reminds me of that one that happened a few months ago. But why does it happen so much? Hold on. Let me look up a statistic. Let's have a look. Okay. A gas pipeline incident occurs somewhere in the USA approximately every 40 hours. Okay. From 2010 through to nearly the end of 2021, almost 2,600 pipeline incidents related to the release of gas occurred in the United States that were serious enough to be reported to federal government. 328 of them resulted in explosions. Okay. So they've had 328. They estimate 286 serious natural gas explosions per year across the US. Wow. Let's see. Silent threat. Gas explosions injured hundreds, killed dozens nationwide since 2010. Oh. Let's see what this is. This reminds me of like, how much does this remind you of a documentary from like the 90s? It really looks like one.
It happens often with no warning.
We have a house explosion
Holy a silent threat lurking beneath the ground, suddenly igniting.
Oh, wow.
Buildings blown apart in an instant. Lives lost and forever changed.
Right there, under the couch.
By natural gas leaks that linger and turn catastrophic.
I saw a ball of flame coming at me.
Wayne Sargent survived it.
I just can't believe what I'm looking at here is what had actually happened to me.
What happened was front page news in Sargent's hometown of Gloucester, Massachusetts for 4 straight days in 2009. Stunning photos show the day the home his grandfather built nearly 100 years ago exploded after natural gas from an underground leak nearby built up in his basement.
The noise was like nothing I'd ever heard. The roar of the building coming apart.
Sargent was buried under a pile of rubble, with neighbors running to free him. The very people who rescued him had been reporting leaks for days leading up to the explosion that leveled his house and took the life of his beloved dog, Penny.
There's an autographed baseball.
What could be salvaged now sits in glass-covered cases in Sargent's living room, shattered, soot-covered reminders of an experience that still haunts him.
It's been more than a decade since this happened, but it still feels so fresh.
It's something that it damaged and it hurt so much. The pain, it never goes away.
After the fire, Sargent spent several days in intensive care with severe burns to his hands and head. 13th, the neighborhood as natural gas put in San Bruno, California, sending natural gas spewing out of a crater 72 feet long. The inferno that resulted killed 8 people, injured more.
I had to pause it there. Look at that. That looks like a fire tornado. It just doesn't. It looks like something out of a movie. Look how crazy that fireball is. That's mental. I feel very sorry for that guy. I'm surprised he survived, for real. I don't know how he lived through that, how he got out of the basement. Nothing. The fact he even is here today is a miracle. It says here, in the past 12 years, gas leaks have led to explosions that claimed dozens of lives, injured hundreds of people, and wiped out entire neighborhoods off the map. Yeah, wasn't there like a really big one about 10 years ago that wiped out a neighborhood? I'm trying to think of where that was. I can't remember. They said it often happens with no warning, with a silent threat beneath the ground suddenly igniting. Wow, look at some of these aftermath photos. And that's what that house went through. There's that guy. Jeez, he looks so sore. Poor buddy. Here you go, look. Gas leak incidents 2010 to June 2022. Distribution incidents per state. Injuries 51, fatalities 8. That was San Ramon, California. And there was a big one over here. New York City. And then Silver Spring, Maryland. I don't remember this one. What's this one? San Ramon, California. Let's have a look. Oh, it was a San Bruno pipeline explosion in 2010. That's what it was. Is there... Yeah.
The Bay Area gas explosion that killed at least 4 people is causing worries about gas pipelines around the country. One pipeline safety expert says, quote, if this was air travel we were talking about, I wouldn't get on an airplane. And the latest images from Thursday's explosion show just how horrible it really was. Priya David Clemens is at the scene in San Bruno, California. She has the latest. Priya, good morning.
Harry, good morning. That's right. We're getting our first look at some of the cell phone video and surveillance video from the blast that leveled this neighborhood on Thursday evening. And some of the images you're going to see in a few seconds are jarring. Pacific Gas and Electric, which is the company that owns the pipeline, has pledged $100 million towards the recovery effort. But the residents here are facing not just a financial toll, but an emotional one as well. New images are now emerging. Cell phone video that capture the sudden, violent nightmare on the ground.
I don't want nobody to go through. I mean, I thought we're having an earthquake, but I go, it's worse than an earthquake.
It looked like an earthquake from this surveillance video at a San Bruno convenience store. Customers fall to the ground, some diving for cover.
I opened the front door and I saw that flame, and that was it.
Residents of San Bruno had little time to react. In an instant, at least 4 people died, and 37 homes were burned to the ground.
I can't get that roaring sound out of my mind and that big boom in the sight of that enormous blast of fire.
This security video from a gas station shows just how quickly things went from normal to chaotic. Flames begin to fill the screen. What can't be seen is what residents felt.
To know if our house was off the foundation because that explosion was tremendous.
Massive.
I mean, the house just went like that.
Federal officials are now examining the section.
All right, we might have gone a little too far with that. Sorry, I had to bail for a second. There is something going on down here, but I don't know what's going on. We just had like the police military helicopter flying above us, and they're doing loops over the suburb, but I don't know what it would be against. Hold on. Let's see if there's anything on the emergency app, because that helicopter doesn't normally come out here. Well, it does, but doesn't do circles over us that low. No, there's nothing on there. I don't know, maybe he's just having a wander in his helicopter. All right. Yeah, that was pretty. Did you guys see the fire of that one? That's probably one of the most brutal things I've ever seen. Where is that photo? Look at this thing. So that's sort of what that house went through. Look at that. You can't even see it. It just looks like fire.
Residents of San
Surprised anyone ever survived any of this.
Bruno had little time to react.
It's like a bushfire on steroids. That's what it's like. All right, we probably went a little too far. Yeah, there's always something going on at my house. That's right. It could be Danny. It could be Danny. It could be. I don't know what that was about, and I don't know why that person thought that I somehow control Trish. But I don't do anything like there's no way like Trish does what she ever wants to do, and I sort of fit my shows in around what she wants to do. I've never ever asked her to finish early so I can go on. Never. All right, let's go. Let's change topics. Let's go back to crime. It was cool to have a little break and look at the gas pipeline though. Those explosions scared the hell out of me. Let's have a look at this. KNSD. San Diego. Bonsall woman is suspected mastermind of $8 million retail theft ring that hit 200 plus Ultra stores. Hold on. Michelle Mack is accused of paying as many as 12 women for their travel expenses, as well as providing them with a list of retail stores across the country to target, including stores in 21 counties across California. A complaint alleges Michelle Mack of Bonsall was a ringleader of an organized national crime ring that stole nearly $8 million worth of makeup and other goods from stores, including hundreds of Ulta cosmetic stores across the US and resold them on her Amazon storefront. According to the complaint filed by the California Attorney General on Friday, more than $300,000 worth of makeup and other products were found in Michelle and Kenneth Mack's shared Bonsall home when a search warrant was executed on December 6, 2023. The quote here says, "I see the justice system work slowly, but it seems to be working," one of Mack's neighbors who did not want to be identified said. Michelle Mack is accused of paying as many as 12 women for their travel expenses, as well as providing them with a list of retail stores across the country to target. These stores included a Lens Crafter in Claremont, an Ulta store in Mira Mesa, which included one of 231 Ulta hit across the country. Several Sephora stores were also targeted. They said it's great they're arresting them. It's unfortunate these people got involved so young and ruined their lives. It's not worth it, said an Ulta Beauty employee, Mabel Carmona. Bonta said that while the current losses are calculated at nearly $8 million, the investigation was ongoing and it's possible the total loss might end up exceeding that amount. So she stole makeup from these stores and hired women to come steal for her and then sold them on Amazon for a profit. You'd have to steal a lot of makeup to make a decent profit to be able to pay these women. It said crime doesn't pay, but the Macks are living in a multi-million-dollar home, while some neighbors say they're paying the price for their alleged crimes. When anyone steals, insurance goes up, prices go up, everyone suffers, said one neighbor. The Macks house is listed for sale online. Some neighbors say they're happy to see that, considering it's recently been rented out for weddings and other events. In total, 140 counts have been filed against 9 defendants, including 136 felony counts of grand theft, 2 counts of receiving stolen property, and 1 count of conspiracy, and 1 count of organized retail crime. NBC7 is working to find out when the Macks will make their first court appearance. One of their suspected accomplices is scheduled to make her first court appearance Tuesday, although law enforcement is working to arrest some of the others. We have to watch this. I want to know more about this woman who steals makeup.
Charged with being the ringleader in a nationwide organized crime ring, though at first glance you may take her for another suburban soccer mom. The state attorney general says millions of dollars worth of goods were stolen from stores across the country. NBC7's Amari Fleming dug through court records to get details on who she is and how she was caught.
I talked to a number of neighbors who live here in this Bonsall neighborhood, and they say they saw dozens of federal agents swarm this home of the woman that some call the cosmetic queen. I talked to one family who says they want to see laws enforced, but they say they are saddened to find out that the family who was so nice to them is now accused of being connected to a national crime ring.
Here's our first look at what neighbors say are younger pictures of Michelle and Kenneth Mack. The state attorney general says Michelle was the ringleader of an organized national crime ring that stole nearly $8 million worth of makeup and other goods from stores.
It's great that they're arresting these people. And like I mentioned before, it is really unfortunate for the people that they got involved. You know, these young people ruining their lives over a couple dollars. It's really not worth it.
According to the felony state complaint, more than $300,000 worth of makeup and other products were found in the Mack shared Bonsall home. When a search warrant was served December 6th, this neighbor didn't want to be identified.
I see the justice system does work rather slowly, but it seems to be working.
Michelle Mack is accused of paying as many as 12 women for their travel expenses, as well as providing them with a list of retail stores across the country to target, including 21 counties in California. Stores like Sephora, this Lens Crafters in Claremont, and this Ulta Beauty in Mira Mesa. It's one of 231 Ulta Beauties hit across the country. Federal search warrants show some of Michelle's alleged accomplices sometimes mailed stolen goods to the Bonsall post office, where Michelle has a company address listed under online makeup store, and then she'd resell the products on Amazon. Though the dogs announced our arrival, no one answered the door at the Mack's Bonsall home. It said crime doesn't pay, but the Macks are living in this multi-million-dollar home, while neighbors say they're paying the price for their alleged crimes.
Like when anybody steals anything, insurance rates go up, prices go up, and everybody suffers.
This multi-million-dollar home in Bonsall up for sale online. Some people who live here in the neighborhood say they are happy to see that, considering the fact that they say it's being rented out for weddings and other events. In Bonsall, Amari Fleming, NBC7.
And we're working to find out when the Macks will make their first court appearance, though one of their suspected accomplices is scheduled to make her first court appearance on Tuesday. Law enforcement is
Shock says, I wonder how much she paid them. Well, that's what I was saying. Even if you stole an $80, I don't know, cosmetic, you'd have to steal 10 of them to make it worthwhile for the person stealing it to pay them, but then also to pay yourself something, then Amazon fees as well. I mean, you'd have to, and to get $8 million, like, let's do that math. $8 million. Okay, divided by, say they're $80 each. They're probably not, but let's just do it that way. Divided by 80. They stole somewhere between 100,000 units, between 100,000 and 250,000 units. Between 100,000 and 250,000 makeup, like individual makeup. That's a lot of makeup. That's like a shipping container worth of makeup. So that's a lot to do on what, 1 or 2 trips? Or I mean, I'm sure they were doing it for years, but Sean says beauty and perfume stores have armed guards outside them in Ecuador. Well, that's because that's Ecuador. I don't know. Does it say over how long? Let's see. Let's go to an older article. Apparently, they targeted stores from West Coast to East Coast over that period. And then it says here they resold them on her storefront for a fraction of the usual price. So it's hard to make money doing that. I'm interested in how she did that. Officials found an estimated $400,000 in recovered products during their investigation. They must have been just going in there and like taking entire cases of product. I really want to know how that worked. It doesn't say how long they were doing it. But to have 400 grand worth of makeup just lying around your home, that's a lot of makeup. Wonder if we can get the court document for this. Hold on. What was her name? Let's go back. What was her name? Michelle Mack of Bonsall.
And in other news tonight, we're getting our first look at the woman recently charged with being worth of
home of the woman that some call the cosmetic queen. I talked to one family who says they want to see laws enforced, but they say they are saddened to find out that the family who was so nice to them is now accused of being connected to a national crime ring.
Here's our first look at what neighbors say are younger pictures of Michelle and Kenneth Mack. The state attorney general says Michelle was the ringleader of an organized national crime ring that stole nearly $8 million worth of makeup and other goods from stores.
It's great that they're arresting these people. And like I mentioned before, it is really unfortunate for the people that they got involved. You know, these young people ruining their lives over a couple dollars. It's really not worth it.
According to the felony state complaint, more than $300,000 worth of makeup and other products were found in the Mack shared Bonsall home. When a search warrant was served December 6th, this neighbor didn't want to be identified.
I see the justice system does work rather slowly, but it seems to be working.
Michelle Mack is accused of paying as many as 12 women for their travel expenses, as well as providing them with a list of retail stores across the country to target, including 21 counties in California. Stores like Sephora, this Lens Crafters in Claremont, and this Ulta Beauty in Mira Mesa. It's one of 231 Ulta Beauties hit across the country. Federal search warrants show some of Michelle's alleged accomplices sometimes mailed stolen goods to the Bonsall post office, where Michelle has a company address listed under online makeup store, and then she'd resell the products on Amazon. Though the dogs announced our arrival, no one answered the door at the Max Bonzel home.
That's a really beautiful house. That house was really pretty. Let's see. A wealthy California mom is accused of masterminding a nationwide shoplifting organization that stole millions of dollars of makeup and clothes from hundreds of stores for more than a decade. So there you go. There's your timeline. More than 10 years. Apparently, investigators called the operation California Girls. That's pretty funny. Police found a mini store of goods worth $350,000 in a 5 a.m. raid on her $3 million home and fear the total hit by retailers may have topped $8 million. Wow. Wonder why she did it when they were already, seems to be fairly well off. Very bizarre. Wow, look at this. That's some of the product that they had in their home. That's a lot of stuff. Like I said, they must have been just taking entire boxes of product off the shelf. Investigators spent more than 2 years trying to break the gang, which was tasked with clearing entire shelves of goods, which they concealed in Louis Vuitton bags. The conspiracy started to unravel when 2 shoplifters were arrested in an Ulta store on the East Coast, and one of them told police that she was working for a woman in California who provided her with a list of stores to target and the prices she would pay for stolen items. A search of her phone revealed dozens of messages from a woman later identified as Mac. Investigators then found Mac ran a retail outlet on Amazon called Online Makeup Store, very original name, which offered more than 300 items on its product line. The items listed for sale were nearly 50% off the actual retail price, which was included in the sales listing. The steep discount suggested the items were being fenced. Amazon provided investigators with records showing the outfit had racked up sales worth more than $8 million since 2012, including nearly $2 million in 2022 alone. Papers filed with the AG's office noted that the manner in which the defendants carried out the crimes indicates planning, sophistication, and professionalism. They should really blur this photo. You're not supposed to put up photos of kids, but okay. Alleged gang member Alina Franco reportedly had $67,000 worth of stolen beauty products at her home in Colton, San Bernardino when her home was raided on the same day. Jeez, there's their house. Look at that. Looks like a French wine estate. There's a this is the actual garage that they kept all the goods in. It looks like a stockroom at a Sephora. Far out. Taking shoplifting to the max. If you're going to do it, you might as well do it good and be the best at it. So she's the best shoplifter ever. See, it says here, they also claim that Mac included others to participate in the commission of the crime or occupied a position of leadership or dominance of other participants in the commission. They said, I'm not stealing regular. I'm going to start filling up my bag quick. So I want to know stuff I can grab in bulk too, said defendant Kimora Lee Gooding, texting Mac on January 7th last year. Far out. This might be one we have to keep an eye on. Let's have a look. Is this the same thing?
This woman from filling up this bag of items inside an Ulta beauty store in Turlock. She, along with 3 other women, grabbed expensive perfume and cosmetics and ran out of the store without paying on Monday. 911. The woman who took this video at the Ulta beauty store in Turlock says she was shocked to see the women steal and not even try to hide their faces or the items they were taking. On the video given to KCRA 3, you could even hear one laugh. Police believe the same 4 women are responsible for another robbery in Fresno just hours later. Surveillance video shows one of the employees trying to stop one of them, but the suspect swung at her face.
None of the workers said anything.
This shopper in Turlock says it's sad when it's so bold. She says she felt uncomfortable today because she carries a large purse.
Right when you come in, the security standing at the door, you don't get greeted. You get looked up from head to toe.
It's not friendly. They walk around like.
Wow, really brazen that they're just, you know, walking in and just like clearing the shelves with their hands. Brutal. That's interesting. Sean said we had $500,000 in goods stolen in one Kmart, but they were 5 staff members leaving boxes of goods intentionally out the back door. Yeah, so inside job. Dan Yee says, y'all better hit the like button before Ping goes passive aggressive. Yeah, I don't know what was with that. That was so weird. I hate Monique says it's always the kids that suffer. Could be. Yeah, apparently they stole glasses as well. You saw some in the article. Where is it? I might be able to show you. You can see here there's some glasses here. They look like expensive ones, so there you go. There she's in handcuffs in her like pajamas. She does look like a soccer mom. That's so much product. It's crazy. Yep, there you go. How crazy. We just stumbled across that one, but that was a good one. Never heard of anything like that before. We're going to have to keep an eye on this court trial. I want to know how they operated for so long and didn't get caught. Hey, Catatonic, how are you? All right. Let me check. I want to see if there's any updates. Oh, this is interesting. A new article about Riley Strain. It says News 2 has obtained new surveillance video from downtown Nashville business that helps establish where a missing University of Missouri student went after leaving Broadway Bar Friday night. From there, the surveillance video helps piece together where Strain allegedly went. New surveillance video from downtown Smoke and Vape Shop on Church Street showed Strain near the intersection of 2nd Avenue and Church Street after leaving Luke Bryan's bar. Strain appeared to stumble to the ground, then got up and kept walking. That's interesting. Is that the one we watched earlier? Yeah, it is. Where does he stumble to the ground? I must have missed the bit where he falls over. I don't see him fall over in that video, do you? I don't see him doing anything. Oh, here. So then he falls. And he picks himself up. Geez, he was everywhere. Look how many cameras he's been caught on. So, is that in the direction? And then he went, okay. So that was before we see him here. That's why he's sort of acting like this, because he fell. Okay. That's why. So he's sort of fallen and maybe hit his head or hurt his arm or something. That's new. I don't think I've ever seen that video. Why was he running though? That's interesting. In every other video we've seen of him, he's just sort of meandering around. But in this one, he's like jogging. That's interesting. Trying to catch someone? Trying to get somewhere quicker? Let me see what you guys think. Hey, Tharvy. Tharvy says, how does she sleep at night? I've got no idea. Oh, 800 to 1,000 easily for those frames. Glasses frames. Marlon Clausen says, what will we do with Mother's Day coming up? I don't know. There's a lot of bad mothers we've been talking about. Yeah, this one looks like maybe just after he left or something like that. This is new. Wonder why they cut it there though. Why won't they show you him falling? Hold on, guys. One moment. All right, there we go. Where's that video? Yeah, that's And then they say that's when so he went left here and then headed down onto this street. They said this one came from a smoke shop too. Maybe it's just a different camera or a different angle. Like this is like a different angle to the other camera facing a different direction. And then he walks off down the street. There's a car and everything. No, we don't want to watch this. Come on. Let's see what it says. It says Riley Strainer was reportedly in town for a fraternity formal with his fraternity brothers. His friends told authorities he disappeared after reportedly being kicked out of Luke Bryan's bar on Friday, March 8. From there, surveillance video helps piece together where Strain allegedly went. New surveillance video from downtown Smoke and Vape Shop on Church Street showed Strain near the intersection of 2nd Avenue and Church Street after leaving the bar. Strain appeared to stumble to the ground, then got up and kept walking. We feel like when he came out, because they had been to a couple of other places, that he had got turned around on the direction. Yeah, he definitely is not going the right direction to his hotel. He's going in the opposite direction. Strain's friends said they tried to find him based on his location from Snapchat. That didn't provide any answers, so they called the police on Saturday afternoon, March 9th. Metro Nashville Police Department confirmed Strain's cell phone was off, adding that the family last tracked his cell phone location to Gay Street and James Robinson Parkway, which is very close to the tower. That's very close to where that other video was shot too, the one where he crosses the road. Yeah, surveillance video from Metro Police shows Strain near the intersection of Gay Street and 1st Avenue just before 10 p.m. Friday. That's right by the river. I feel terrible. I feel like they're going to find him in that river. I just have a bad feeling. Vegemite Smile says, now it's reminding me of Lars Mittank. A little bit. Does it say location when he was running? It sounds like he went from 2nd Avenue, then 1st. It does. It says the smoke shop surveillance was intersection of 2nd Avenue and Church Street. And then he was on... Where is it? Gay Street and 1st Avenue North. So that's where he went. He went from 2nd Avenue and Church to Gay Street and 1st Avenue North. There you go. Let's see it here. We can show you in this video.
And then Metro Police released his bar.
Yeah.
His fraternity brothers.
His friends told police he disappeared after getting kicked out of a bar. That's where all of this begins, Luke Bryan's bar. From there, security video helps us piece together where Riley reportedly went. He's picked up around the corner on a smoke shop security camera. His last Snapchat location was a few minutes away near Public Square Park. And then Metro Police released video showing Riley near First Avenue North. In all, he walked for about 15 minutes. That's where the trail runs cold. A search of the Cumberland River today also turned up nothing.
News 2's Sarah Smith walks us through that video tonight.
Friday, March 8th, University of Missouri senior Riley Strain hits Broadway with his fraternity brothers. The group goes to Luke Bryan's bar. Police say friends told them he was kicked out. New surveillance video from a nearby business shows Riley after leaving the bar off 2nd and Church Street. He takes a tumble, then keeps walking. His parents emotional.
We feel like when he came out, because they had been to a couple other places, that he got turned around on the direction.
Riley's friends say they tried to find his location by his last Snapchat. That didn't provide answers, so they called Metro Police Saturday afternoon.
Who is it that you're wanting to report is missing?
He's so close to the water. Look at that. Do you reckon he tried to like walk along the edge of the bridge, like, you know, up on top of the barrier or something, and he slipped and fell? I just wonder, look how close he is there, and that's not too far away from where that surveillance video captures him. I think that surveillance video is just up here at the intersection on the other side of Public Square Park. So he walked a little further towards the river. He's going very far in the wrong direction. They leave out the previous stops in the reporting, which makes it sound like Luke's overserved him. I think he was there, no? Or is that the confusion? I thought he was drinking in that place because they say he had to finalize his tab at Luke Bryan's bar. So I think he was drinking at that bar. So I don't think they overserved him as such. He was probably already drunk when he came in, had a couple of drinks, and they were like, "Oh, buddy, you've had a few too many. Probably going to have to let you go home." And yeah. But yeah, look at that. That's his Snapchat location. He's just so close to that water. I just got to think that's where he is. They just haven't found him yet. It's so unfortunate, but drunk males near water, it's very tragic. Very tragic, unfortunately. All right. All right. It is late, everyone. I think we're going to wrap up for the night. It's been a great show. Sean sent me a thing about the guy who shoots his wife. Yeah, I haven't done that one. We may at some point. It's a really horrible thing. The man finds out about his wife having an affair, and he pulls out a shotgun and shoots her point blank in the head, kills her. Absolutely just obliterates her and shows no remorse. I think he was sentenced to life in jail or something. I can't remember. What is it? Let me double check. I can't remember what he got sentenced to. Yeah. Patricia Birmingham was the woman. Go away. There we go. He was only sentenced to 10 years in prison for the murder of his wife because they were successfully able to persuade a jury that it was a moment of passion killing. And they were saying that because it was, in the heat of the moment, that he should only have 10 years in prison and not life in prison. He said to her before shooting her, "All right, goodbye. You're going to meet Jesus," and killed her. Shot her with a big-ass rifle or a shotgun. Yeah, really, really awful. She didn't deserve to die. She's obviously a morally horrible human for cheating on her husband and not just divorcing his ass, but didn't deserve to be shot in the face for it. That is very cowardly to shoot a woman that is unarmed herself just because you guys got in an argument. It's horrible. It says in the video, Kerry can be heard firing his gun 3 times at his wife. And apparently it was an all-woman jury, which is rare but can happen, sentenced the Texas man to 10 years in prison for the murder of his wife after being shown a video of the shooting. Apparently the couple's daughter said she'll never forgive him, but she still loves her dad. Because apparently her mom was her favorite person in the world.
Getting the strength to tell her mother's story days after that young woman.
Jury was made.
You're 20.
Okay. All right. Goodbye, Reese. I'll see you. You go meet Jesus.
Those were Kerry Birmingham's last words to his wife, Patricia, before he killed her with his shotgun outside their home in Spring. In the video, you can hear he fired 3 times.
Hope it was worth it.
This all going down while their teenage daughter, Olivia, was at school.
I lost both my parents that day. My dad died that day too. Because the person who did that to my mom and my father aren't the same person.
Patricia and Kerry had roughly a 30-minute argument leading up to the shooting.
You really want this on video?
I'll pull it. I'm mad enough to just pull it.
Audio we obtained of several minutes prior to the video became a large part of Kerry's crime of passion defense.
I'm done. I'm done too. I'm done too.
Kerry had allegedly learned Patricia was having an affair, the two's argument getting more and more heated.
Don't blame him. Get the f out.
Kerry's defense attorney, Anthony Osso, says they pled guilty directly to the all-female jury. He says their strategy was to accept responsibility, but convince jurors Kerry shot Patricia in the heat of the moment.
We never tried to justify the actions of our client, but the defense wasn't about justification. It was about why he did what he did.
Tried to.
Olivia finds her father's defense questionable at best.
I don't know. That sudden passion. You have to have something. You have to have made that decision within you for a while. I feel like to do that to somebody you really, really love.
Kerry was given a 10-year sentence with the possibility of parole after 5. Olivia says in court she spoke to her father and gave us a summary of her victim impact statement.
That no matter what was said in this trial, you know the type of woman she was. You know who she was, and you know what you did and how he took away my favorite person in this world.
Olivia testified that she never witnessed her father physically abusing her mom, but she wanted to raise awareness that there are different types of abuse she experienced, including emotional and financial. She says while she still loves her father, she can never forgive him.
Tonight, a daughter is.
Yeah, he should have got more than 10 years in prison. That is a travesty of justice. I mean, you know, she can tell you whatever. She could tell you that she slept with an entire football team, your favorite football team, and it doesn't give you any more right to kill her, you know, in cold blood, point blank, in the front of your home. I think that is just, it's still first-degree murder as far as I'm concerned. So, all right, let's wrap up for the night. Go and get some sleep, everyone. And wanted to thank Laura T from the first show for her donation and Sean for after the first show as well. I appreciate it from both of you. Helps allow us to have these extra shows every night. It's very kind of you. Yes, I'll see you all. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm hoping for big news in the Riley case and big news in the Sebastian one. I'm hoping every day I hope Sebastian Rogers will be found, and maybe something about Elijah Vu as well. That would be great. It'd be nice to see 2 of those boys come home, and well, all 3 of them really. All 3 boys come home tomorrow. That would be great. That would be fantastic. Yeah, I'll see you later. Have a good sleep. Have a great night. Try and get some rest, and we'll be back tomorrow to do it all over again at 9 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for being a part of this channel. Thanks for being a subscriber here. And just know that I really, really appreciate the people who come here every night, subscribe, leave comments, and interact with the show. You help make it a better show. See you later, everyone. Bye-bye.